What's your husband think about this?
He's still home. He's still there, but he didn't want me to come here. He didn't want to be a part of this. He likes to ignore the problems and hope they go away.
But he knows that you're involved with Brad, right?
Yes.
I assume that's not okay with him.
No, he's on the verge of walking out, and I think after today he will.
He doesn't know y'all are still having sex, right?
No. They keep telling each other, they keep tell Michele and her husband that it's over, it's over.
And we've tried. We have. And
Yeah.
when we say it's over, it's been over. It may not last very long, but it's been. We have tried.
He won't leave her alone.
Now, your children.
Take care of your own business before you start throwing stones. You got problems in your own house. So.
Oh, I do?
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Well, let's talk about what we do know. Okay? We do know you have children.
Correct.
And we do know they know about this.
Correct.
Okay, when you stack the priority list in your life and you say, okay, my decisions, my choices, my actions are going to be driven by my priorities.
Right. Where
do the kids come?
I have stayed married, even though we've had problems and we tried to work through them and we didn't get the counseling we needed. But I wanted to stay for my children. That's why I thought I was staying. And I thought, as horrible as this sounds, I thought my extracurricular actions were aside. I thought I can keep the family together, I can raise my children, and I'm meeting some other needs over here.
Did you really think it wouldn't have an impact? Because if you said they're important, when you saw this, you would have stopped right then. You would have said, my children are at the top of the list. This has now started encroaching on their peace in life. A soft, secure home, a soft, secure place to fall. Once you became aware that was the case, you would have stopped, right?
You would certainly think so.
But you didn't.
No, I did not.
So does that tell you that you are out of control, that you have no impulse control, and that you are delusional in your thinking? You're telling yourself things that just simply have no basis in fact.
And I've been through that, and I've tried to analyze this situation with her. Maybe it's not what I think it is. Maybe, we're both delusional. I've been through that for 2 years. But we haven't been able to get away from each other. Because, I would love nothing more than to be the perfect husband and father. And we've talked about with the other affairs, the list you keep bringing up. I'm glad that came out, and we've talked about that. I'm glad that came out.
Well, you say the list I keep bringing up. You wrote the list.
I agree.
And put it in your car.
Right. And that's what I was referring to, was the list.
You wanted her to find it, right?
I think subconsciously I did.
I would guess since you wrote it out and left it in the car.
Yeah.
You wanted her to find
right.
it. I assume there's part of you that either thinks that this is going to wind up in a really bad place at some point if you don't stop it, or you are so gutless that you're trying to get her to make the decision. You said we're waiting for somebody to tell us what to do. Are you trying to make her so mad that she'll say, get out, so you can then be the victim and say, well, she threw me out, so I have permission to go do this? Think about that, really.
I will. But something that was not brought up is for the 8 or 9 years I'm talking about that we had problems prior to this, I was the one that pushed for counseling, and she didn't want to go. I have really tried to get help for this marriage for a long time. Okay,
but you're not suggesting that therefore validates your decision to turn
Absolutely
outside
not.
the marriage
Absolutely
with somebody else.
Not.
You're
Absolutely
just bringing
not.
that up for general conversation purposes then.
Right.
Because you're not saying that since she wouldn't talk, I go start having an affair with 19 other women.
Well, and that's why, but it's not right. I agree it's not right.
Did you lie to the therapist about whether you were still involved or not?
Yes, I did.
What's the point in going to therapy if you're not going to tell the truth?
I saw individual therapy at that point because we were in marriage counseling and I was still seeing her, so I wanted to go see an individual therapist.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.